I just want to say thanks to all of you guys who are here. To me, I always say time is life, right? And you only get so much time in your life, and you guys are investing a portion of your time, your life, for this. And I think for you guys being business owners or people that work in the industry where I was at one time, I appreciate your guys' hard work already, and I can't imagine yourselves laying aside some extra time to do this. That shows me that it's really important to you and your organizations where you represent. So what I'm holding in my hands is obviously a pair of socks. We take these for granted. These on the streets are called Freshies. So when I do street outreach twice a week, we go out with the medical team and myself, and I bring out restaurant quality food. I'm a chef, right? Even though I don't have a restaurant anymore, I still make the food that I used to make in the restaurant. So I'm trying to bring out like lasagna, linguine Alfredo, stuffed peppers, high-end things to folks that feel like they don't deserve anything. Most of our guys and gals outside have addiction that I'm working with and mental health untreated, and they have both of them going on simultaneously sometimes. So socks are things that I give out regularly because they don't wash their clothes. They can't wash them, right? They're living outdoors. So we're living in a tent in the woods, in an abandoned house, under a bridge somewhere on a mat or in a little tent thing. And these things are powerful because I give you 2 every time I see you. And then I'm going to give you 2 more the next time I see you, so they're disposable, right? So for me, white is a thing that's a preference outside. I used to give out colored socks, but when your feet get wet, sometimes they would stain their feet. They're just like white. White's just better. And for me, I love new socks. I don't know about you guys, but you get a new pair of socks, they fit tight to your feet, they don't fall down, everything's going great. So for me, it's Freshies, right? That's what they call them on the street. So these are a beautiful thing that goes out all the time. And everything else that they've collected here to go out is things that I recommended. So hand wipes are powerful because if you're living outside, you don't take a shower, you wipe yourself down. If it's hot and you're sweaty and sticky, you get to at least clean yourself off. In the winter, you get to wipe yourself down. They could use it as toilet paper as well because you're going to the bathroom outside a lot of the times as well. So you have to think of all those things. Hand warmers right now are huge. Even foot warmers, if you ever wanted to do it on your own and buy foot warmers and put into their shoes and their boots and things like that, especially when you see folks that are panhandling. Not everyone that you see as a panhandler is homeless, right? So here's the 3 groups I want to kind of like teach you guys about that you could go back and tell your team this, right? So everyone who's panhandling is in need. So they are in a suffering state, and 95% of you folks that you see panhandling have an addiction going on. So the reason why they're out there, they're trying to get money to get their stuff. The other group that has severe mental health is out there because they're struggling, they have no money, and sometimes they have an addiction, sometimes they don't. But a lot of the money goes to vices, cigarettes and things of that nature. There's not a food desert in Syracuse. You could eat at the Rescue Mission, you could eat at Samaritan Center, you could eat at Assumptions, soup and sandwich every day. I'm coming out twice a week with awesome food. So there's not a food shortage thing. So if you see a sign that says I'm hungry or whatever, I think a lot of times they make a sign to try to play the game, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean they're bad people. They're just people that are broken and have issues. They're just trying to make you feel sorry for them, right? So one of the things that I encourage folks to do is when you go up to a corner and you have these wonderful bags now, you don't just assume that they're going to want the bag. So one of the things when you're homeless, you use the power of choice, right? So if I'm going to give you a shirt, it's the shirt that I give you. You don't have no choice on the color, the size, or whatever, right? So I say to folks, if you pull off the off-ramp, now you got this bag with you, and there's a person that you see all the time, you say, hey, I have a bag, goodie bag here. Would you like it? So in the kit, you're going to have we have a higher ground program. We created a day labor program in partnership with Onondaga County and the county executive's office. Like right now, as we're speaking, there's 10 people on a work van. Instead of panhandling, they're working for the day. And in that work day, they get paid at the very end of the day, cash, a stipend that we give to them, but they have breakfast and they have lunch, but there's a care manager embedded on that van. So it's to kind of encourage you, hey, you worked today, with us. I know you have an addiction going on. Why don't you let us help you with your addiction, and maybe we could get you a job, which I've done for 12 people. But I vet them out. I have to make sure that they're ready to work. Because if you're standing on that corner, don't think they're ready to work. They might show up today, but they're not going to be there tomorrow because of addiction, right? So when you roll the window down, you ask them if they would like it. They say yes, you give it to them. If they say no, you don't get personally offended by it. And just say, okay, man, well, I just want to let you know, I say you're not invisible. I see you out here. Stay safe. The thing that don't ever ask how you're doing. How you're doing is not the good. It's like going visiting someone in the hospital. How you feeling? Well, I'm sick. I'm in the hospital, right? So don't ask how you're doing. Just more acknowledge them, affirm them that you see them, and that I'll see you next time I'm around. If you want the bag next time, I'll have another one. But the main thing is, if you give them the bag when Bud brings those little things, you tell them there's something in there. There's an alternative to standing on the corner. There's a schedule on there. It talks about the days that they could be picked up, where they need to go to be picked up, and the time that they need to be picked up. And they're all in the city. So if you see someone out here, it might be hard for them to get to the city. But I always say to folks, if they're making money holding a sign, they can spend $1 to get a bus into the city and work if they wanted to work. There's a meadow. So like if you ever run into someone on the corner as you're giving them that bag, you could also, if they ever say they're not feeling well, or if you notice there's like they're cut or something, we have a medical doctor that comes out with us. So Dr. Lehman, if they ended up calling us, we could come out here and visit them or wherever you're seeing them and make sure that they get medical treatment as well. The main thing to do, if you do say, hey, at my father's kitchen, there's a work schedule in there, but they do street outreach as well. So if you need any kind of housing or anything, these are the guys to talk to, and they can get a hold of us, and we'll do that. So the 3 people, I was going to give you the 3 groups. So either you're holding a sign and you're physically living outdoors, that's my group, you're homeless. If you're in one of our major shelters, Catholic Charities Men's Shelter, Salvation Army Women's Shelter, Rescue Mission, you're still homeless even though you're living in a shelter. These guys still panhandle. Then the other group, we've assisted 289 people into housing going into our 12th year. Some of those folks have not addressed their addiction, so they still go panhandle even though they have an apartment. So you got folks that are holding a sign that live in a house somewhere, but they have an addiction going on, so they're panhandling. So I've never in my whole 12 years seen a guy, the typical story, his Cadillac's parked around the corner and he's just out there taking, never. I've never seen that in 12 years. So I'm not saying that doesn't happen around the country, maybe New York City, California, not in Syracuse. I've never seen it in 12 years. So that's, I think, a fallback for people to say, I'm not going to help him because he's probably scamming me. The folks that you're seeing are broken people with issues, and it's legit, but it doesn't mean they're homeless, right? So I just wanted to let you know that. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to.
Question. So
yeah, questions.
Was afraid. I talked to some people who are female, driving by themselves.
Yeah.
They're afraid to stop, that they're going to be harmed.
Yeah, and if you feel afraid, then just don't do it, right? There's no pressure to do it. But there are guys who might be strung out on something, like especially like if they're on Molly or something, they could be aggressive in their nature. If you see that as you're going down the ramp, then don't even engage them, you know what I mean? But if it's someone that you feel safe as a female, if you feel safe, then engage them and help them, you know what I mean? If you feel fit, but there's no pressure to do it, you know what I mean? At least you have the heart to want to do it. That might not be that person for that moment for you. It might be another person in another day for you. You know what I mean? So just don't beat yourself up. That's the other thing.
Where do you work out of in case somebody does?
So we have a facility on Holly Ave. We don't engage anybody at our building. It's always, we're out there. We bring everything to them. But 501 Holly Ave is our home address, where our offices are and my staff is at. On Fridays, we are open for a 2-hour window for people to drop off donations to us if they want to donate. Like she brought me coats today and hats and scarves. So we take those kinds of items on Fridays. That's a drop off. We also sell product like sauce, coffee, and syrup that's marketed and labeled in our name that we sell at the facility as well. Yeah, eating with a purpose. Yeah, so you guys are good listeners. And thank you for your heart. And thank you for you guys for creating an environment to do this too, you know? Yeah.
So let's build some kits.
Welcome to Weird Vibes. That's the name of our podcast. And so if you want to just tell us your name and where you're from, and then we'll just have some questions for you. Go for it.
Cindy Adamczyk from Sant'Angelo's Restaurant in Liverpool.
Okay.
I'm Mark McAndrews from Vicino's Brick and Brew in Cicero.
Okay, great. So we have you guys here today because we did your You Are Visible kits packing. So we just wanted to say thank you for working with us on that. And so we just kind of wanted to talk to you about your business and why you felt like you wanted to be part of this today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ladies
Yeah.
first.
We just feel so grateful for the whole community that they've always been there for us, and we want to give back. And not everybody can afford to come into a restaurant, and we thought this is a great way to reach out and help other people.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
How long Sant'Angelo's been around?
So 34 years?
And you've been there since you were 16? So you've been there, yeah,
Yeah, since I was, yeah.
16. How long have you been there?
I've been there 15 years.
15 years?
Yes,
Wow.
yes. Yeah,
So, happy?
very happy.
Yeah.
It's a family.
Yeah.
It's working
And
with
you're
a
part of
family.
the family.
I
think everybody there kind of is,
I
right?
feel like I'm part of the family, absolutely, yeah.
I'm gonna be
it's-
honest. I feel like I thought that you were for like a
Really?
decent amount of time when I first, the way you and Maria are together.
Oh,
Like
it's
I was
nice.
like, oh, they're like us. They're a family business
Yeah,
like us.
yeah.
So that's cool.
It is,
Yeah.
it is great. It's not like going into work. It feels good, yeah,
Good. Nice.
yeah.
And then Vincino. How do I say it?
Vicino's.
Vincino's.
Where did
okay.
the Vicino's come from? I know you told me this before.
Vicino's is neighbors in Italian.
Oh, nice, okay.
We're your neighborhood brick and brew, neighborhood pub, neighborhood pizza place.
How long have you guys been there now?
So we've been there since November of 2018 we opened up.
4 years, that's incredible.
Yeah, we made it through the 2020
Yes.
problems and now we're moving forward, all good.
Yeah. So, what made you decide to come
Listen,
today?
if it's not for the community, you're nobody, right? You have to have the community coming to you to hopefully purchase your food and spending time at your establishment. And they're doing it for us, and we in turn like to help other people as well, right? So we go out and we'll do this, and whatever we kind of do to help the community, we enjoy doing.
Cool. Great. So I think, have you guys ever worked with in your father's kitchen or in my father's kitchen before? Had you heard about them before?
Certainly have heard about
Yeah,
them. I've
yeah.
never had the opportunity to
I've
work with
heard
them.
about them too, and I thought, that's wonderful, but no, never worked with them.
Let me ask you a question. In someplace in the podcast, previous to this, I hope, we're going to see John when he spoke. And I know I've known him for 25 years, and I've known him to be very inspiring back when he ran the restaurant. But now to see him in this and to hear him speak when he's talking, I just, even at my age and all the things I've gone through, I had just like, I'm attached to every word he says. It just seems, he's not emotional when he talks. It's not like he's crying or saying anything, but you can so hear that he's talking from inside. This is probably the first
Yeah.
time you ever heard him talk about what he does.
Ever,
How
yeah.
did you feel? Like,
Yes, I felt that way. I thought, is he going to be very emotional? But he's just very genuine, and he cares, and you get that. And any fears that maybe you have about, because I'm going to admit I did. I
Yeah.
had fears about stopping and what do I do? What do I say? And he kind of put that at ease. Now I know what to do, so that's good.
Yeah, it actually made me feel a little bit better when I heard them that, how do you approach these people? What do you do? How can we help them
Yeah.
without throwing them money that they might do
Yes.
something with it that maybe they shouldn't be? And having a little talk with them or being able to have that conversation with them now because you know what to say and what works best, is very cool.
and you can see he has experience dealing
Yeah.
with it. Anything you would have, and he's just, I don't need him to keep going on and on about him, but he's just it makes you want to give yourself,
does, it
right?
does.
Seeing somebody else give
Right.
that much, I pick on him all the time. I say, I think I'm a good person. And then when I go to bed at night and I hear a story about him, I think I'm horrible compared to him, but he's just a good guy. So
Such a good guy.
that was good.
Yeah. So just one more question I think for me is, so we designed these packs, and part of some of the things that we wanted to do was you had the option to give them right back to John so that he can distribute them, or keep them for yourself to distribute them, or send them, educate your staff. Do you know what you will be doing with the packs, or you haven't decided yet?
I think we're going to be giving them to our staffs as well as keeping some of the packs in Kathy and myself's car at the same time to be able to give when you're going out and you see these people hanging out on the corner and panhandling and so forth. So I think it's fantastic.
Cool.
Right, yeah. And I know Maria and Giulio Sant'Angelo,
Yeah.
they both were saying, our staff is so important to us. And I know they all want to do something, so we do
Yeah.
different things at Christmas time, and
Right.
we thought this will be great for them to be able to give back to the community too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think it's just a learning experience for us as like owners and that run the restaurants and everything. And then to be able to transfer that information to our staff and our team is huge, that they'll be able to, have learned some of the stuff that we were able to take away today. So,
And it's easy today with technology. I say this all the time. If I turned my phone on right now and took it off airplane mode and scrolled across Facebook or my emails, within 90 seconds, there's a place somebody needs something. And I can push a button and donate $25 or $50 like that, and the money gets donated. But you don't see it. This way, you're face to face with the person that you're helping. And that just means a lot more, I think, than pushing a button today. So,
To see that smile on their face, right?
yes,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. And I tell you, I've done it 20 times, and I've turned my car around to go back and talk to people, and they're so appreciative.
Nice.
They're so appreciative. It makes you, it's not unselfish of me. It's kind of selfish because I'm getting something in return as well. So cool.
yeah, well, thank you guys so much.
Thanks so
We
much for
appreciate
coming.
you
Thank you, guys.
helping us.
Thanks.
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 Cool.
We're back.
Yay.
We're back with Weird
Yeah.
Vibes
Woo.
with Michelle and Bud and Nora.
Yes.
So, yes,
Hey.
yes.
Okay, so we hosted 15 different restaurants putting together these bags. We put together 300 bags. And how do you think it went?
Well, Nora was here. How do you think it went?
I think it was fabulous. I think we banged it out. I think it's a great opportunity to get back out into the community. And yeah, I think it was good.
I think it was a little, even before you hand the bags out, these people are now a little more educated. They got a chance
Yeah.
to talk to John, so they're educated about how to interact. But which was cool, and I knew that would be cool. But the cool part I liked is maybe sitting around listening to the people that were working on the assembly line that were restaurant owners that don't really get to see each other a lot socially, and they're standing next to each other talking about their restaurant and their life and things they do and telling stories and working on a project together that they would never have an opportunity to do just running their restaurant. So that was kind of cool to see restaurant owners
Yeah.
with other restaurant owners.
Yeah.
I always feel like that's cool when we have
It's
the
a bonus
opportunity.
because
Yeah.
it's so similar. You have so many similar experiences and how different restaurants or owners deal with their experiences. It's kind of just so helpful, I think.
We talked about it by text that we should do more of this stuff. Like, I
Yeah.
think we definitely need to partner more, not just you and me, but getting restaurants involved. And maybe it's doing this, maybe it's, donating time at the Tip Hill Community Center. Maybe
Yeah.
it's going out in the community and helping kids. Maybe it's going and watching a game together, going to and watch the Mets play, whatever it could be, getting social settings together, doing an industry night, having
Yeah.
people come in, just do something that these restaurant owners can get out of their restaurants and be with similar people and have fun.
Yeah,
So,
I agree
would
with
be
that.
cool.
I do agree that basing the get-together and the volunteering aspect of it or doing community service is a bonus because honestly, day to day, you get caught up in your restaurant and even though everybody loves to volunteer, everybody loves to get involved in the community. Honestly, times go by, weeks and months that you don't have the opportunity to do it. So I think you two being the ringleaders of that would be great.
And scheduling it. So like
Yeah.
Bruce from Rustin's Diner, no H. He told me that today, Rustin's, no H. He forgot that he had it today. And he was at Costco picking up stuff for the restaurant right here. And he said he looked and there was a person that said, hey, I can't come today because I couldn't make it. And the Bruce was like, holy shit, I forgot I'm supposed to come today. So
Yeah.
he drove over from Costco. Otherwise, he wouldn't have made it. You
Yeah.
get
It
caught up.
is, life gets in the way.
Yeah.
And
So,
then you
it's
get
cool.
the opportunity to do something like this. But you do need someone to head that up because we're busy.
Yeah. And I definitely think partnering with In My Father's Kitchen
Yeah.
is really important for restaurants because he, first of all, was a restaurant owner that is now helping the community through his organization. But it's also kind of stuff that we're familiar with.
Right.
Like that food service piece of it and the stuff that he does and the sauces and the coffees and the syrup that he makes. It's kind of nice to be able to work with an organization that's passion's the same as yours. That you
the
can
only
make a
sauce
difference.
I don't know if you ever had his sauce. It's In My Father's Kitchen. It's
Yeah.
a sauce. You can buy it. Go to his website. You can buy it. You can buy it in Wegmans,
Mm-hmm.
Tops, We go online and buy it if it's not available, if my wife doesn't get it at the store, and he ships it right to you. And
Oh,
it's
sweet.
eating with a purpose. And you
Yeah.
know that, yeah, it's not the $4.99 or $3.99 bottle. It might cost $8, but it's really good sauce.
Yeah.
And when I open it, you feel good because you
Yeah.
gave to something. So
Cool. I hope that all these kits get passed out. I think they will.
a lot of people said that they just wanted to donate them to John, so John could pass them
them
out.
out, yeah.
And so I have a lot of them. I'll be carting over to John's, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So-
interesting. So they just said, just let's do that.
So I think I think they would have enjoyed it better and would have wanted to pass them out themselves. Like, to be honest, we had some people that came, I don't want to call them up, but we had some people that came today that before they came and put the kits together said, we don't want to pass them out, just give them to John. And then John spoke and kind of eased them into how to do it, and now they're comfortable doing it and they're going to educate their staff. I think if a lot of these people had been able to come, they would have done that themselves.
I also think though that, like you said, there's like time. We have time goes by,
Yeah.
and we have limited opportunities as restaurant owners. It's kind of like a 24/7 job. The fact that we're putting together a vehicle for them to set up these donations and make these kits for John to give out is an important piece of it as well, because not everybody can make that time commitment, or not everybody can make that time commitment every single time. So some people that donated, like, Cider Mill and
Yeah.
Tully's and Nestico's too, that weren't able to come today just because of scheduling things, maybe the next time we do something like this, they will be able to. Or maybe they'll still just continue to donate,
And
financially,
we had
and that's great.
Mimi's, Duskies, Twin Trees 2, Kitty Hoynes. I don't want to forget anybody. They donated gift cards to John. And John, for the holiday season, he puts a holiday bundle together. He sells his sauce. He sells his coffee. He sells some of his logoed stuff. And he sells those bundles and packages to the public. And that revenue that he makes from that, he
Love
uses to
that.
fund him. So he's adding gift cards. He sent me a message. He said, "Hey, bud, do you think you could maybe get me a couple of gift cards?" I got $465 worth of gift cards.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. He was pretty
Yes.
excited.
Love
And when he's
that.
excited, he's just a giving guy. He makes you feel better. So
Yeah.
So
And he makes it approachable. Like, I
Yes.
think he's very real. So, like, saying, like, letting you know that, like, yeah, it does feel weird at first to do this, but this is how you do it, and that this is the facts of, like, the situation that's going on, but this is how we can help. I think it really sets ease to
well, I want
some-
you to promise me that when you finally do interact with somebody and give a kid out, you should text me and tell me how it went.
Oh, yeah.
Because
So interesting enough, I did this a couple years ago. Did I tell you this
you
already?
told me that you used to give a bottle of water or something.
I made, I think I saw it, it was maybe, I was at church and they said, I can't remember how I came about do you remember?
Yeah.
That I made the kits here, but I did hand warmers, a bottle of water.
Oh my gosh.
Probably a Kind Bar, something like that. And so I would just give them out. I kept them in my car, and I would just, when I drive by, give them out. But I do like the idea that John kind of walked us through it, because before I never felt weird about it or like threatened or scared or what am I doing, but I kind of just gave it to him.
Yeah.
Here you go. I had it in a brown paper bag.
Yeah.
And just gave it to him. So I like the idea that it's like what how he walked us through it,
You're
because
not
then
invisible,
and then you can like connect with them.
Well, the first time I told Michelle, I'd never done it. I was nervous, which is crazy. You shouldn't, like he said, I shouldn't be nervous. They should be nervous, right?
Yeah.
So I stopped. I rolled down my window. They said, "Hello." I said, "Hi, here, thanks." And I drove, and I was all nervous, like shaky. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? But now I stop, I say hi, I say, "You're not invisible." And I said, a couple guys know me now, so they see my car and they see me pull over, they recognize me, and they know what they're going to get. They always say thank you. I've never been threatened.
I love
It's been
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah. I do really make it a point all the time when I
wave,
if I make
right?
it, well, if I make eye contact, and I usually do because I think that you should as a human. And some people may or may not be comfortable with that, but literally if I don't have anything, and now I did used to always give money.
He said never give money.
So
Yeah.
until I listened to the podcast with him, I always was like looking, where's my
Oh my
money?
gosh,
I'm getting,
yeah.
always. I never drove by past someone without, if I had money to give it to them. So now since the podcast, I just make eye contact and I'm like, hi, or I'll roll down my window and be like, how are you?
Well, how about his thing that said in 12 years of him doing this, and nobody's more engaged in this than him. Nobody that you know or I know. And he said, just to let you know, there's nobody that he's met, and he's met everybody, that's out on the street panhandling and then turns around and gets in a Cadillac and drives home. That's
Yeah,
a misconception.
I
That's
know.
an old wives' tale. What do
I
they call
know.
it? Urban legend. He said it might be happening someplace else, but it's not happening here. So if you are sitting out there and you believe, oh my gosh, I'm just going to give something to somebody that's driving a Cadillac or lives in a mansion, it's not happening in Syracuse, and nobody knows that better than John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
I think it's a stereotype.
So I'm excited about what we did today. I feel
Me
good
too.
about it. I
Yeah.
feel good about it.
I
think
feel like
it's
that
great.
this is something that we could do.
We got to keep doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because it does.
And it was nice.
Make
I
a
think.
difference.
I think we
Yeah.
built, and it's not me. It's everybody together. It wasn't just me. I did the introduction, but we've built this community or this coalition of restaurants that kind of get along in Onondaga and Oswego County. And when I put it out on a text string and said, "Hey, is anybody interested in supporting this?" Boom, 15
Everybody
people came
does.
back within the first day.
Well,
Hey, I'll give.
It is. It's because we want to give and we want to do stuff, but life gets in the way and you don't have. And if someone puts it together,
That you're
you
there.
make it
Yeah.
easier for us to be able.
We got to
to
do more of this stuff. Yeah.
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 Yes.
Well,
Okay.
let's talk about some organizations that we've worked with. Have you worked with a lot of organizations?
No, to be
Okay.
honest. Have you
Okay.
worked with? So
We've done decent stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've worked with the Food Bank of Central New York.
nice.
So we've done some fundraising with that, but I wouldn't say that it was crazy. It was just donations. We went and we did a tour.
Oh yeah,
of
the food
this-
bank, and
yeah.
you did the diaper.
Oh, I've worked with the CNY diaper bank.
Yep.
And then we do stuff for Carol Baldwin every year.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then we also work with Western SC teachers. So we've
Oh, cool.
put
Yeah.
together like kits for teachers to bring into their classrooms.
Is that through the Camillus? What's it? Business? What do you?
the
what do you
Chamber
put-
of Commerce?
Chamber of Commerce.
No, we do
You-
it.
on a
No, this
separate-
is all, yeah.
We try
Oh,
to
yeah.
do, we
I do
try
that
to come
too.
up with
Yeah.
stuff. When I worked at AT&T for about 10 years, and I did fundraising for the food bank. We always did a family at Christmas.
Wow. Nice.
I mean, we did a lot of stuff at corporate. That's what I miss about not being in an office, because we did so many different fundraisers. But I feel
Yeah.
like we carried it over here. But we
Yeah.
could do more, always.
We,
The only
always
thing
could.
I kind of give to now, because I don't like the pushing a button thing.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
donating to some random cause. So the thing I always do, if I have any friend on Facebook, I'm big into sports. I believe sports, and again, we talked earlier to some people that you don't have to just play the sport. You don't have to participate as a player in the sport. You can be a manager. You can be a fan of a high school sport team and be engaged in your community or in school and go to the games and stuff. So any piece of a sport helps.
Yeah.
The kids have a place and whatever in school. So I always donate. If somebody, because when I was a kid, high school sports, it wasn't fundraising. It was about the sport. My parents never had to pay any money for me to play basketball or run track or do anything. Nowadays, your kid can't play unless you're selling tumblers or popcorn or candy or
Yeah.
something.
100%.
It's challenging, and I hated it when I would just say, Zach, how much do I have to give? I just give $500.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just get all this popcorn. So anytime I see anybody that needs stuff, we buy donuts. I just bought Krispy Kreme. I bought something else. I donate $50, $40, $25, and maybe I get something. Whenever I see the Girl Scouts, I always give them $20. I don't like to take the cookies because I have a connection on the inside. I have a buddy that I only buy cookies from his granddaughter, but I'll give him $20 and say, eat the cookies yourself.
Yeah.
But I buy between 40 and 50 boxes of Girl Scout cookies every year from my buddy John Capozzi's granddaughter.
Really?
So I'm
Oh
like
my
her
God.
biggest
That's
supporter.
a lot.
And then do you give them out, or what do you do? You don't.
You eat them all? Shut
would
the
like
fuck
to
up
say that
you
I-
eat them all.
Do you like cookies that much?
Yes.
Holy
Thin
moly.
Mints. My wife gets mad because she yells at me about eating all the cookies. So and she knows this, so when she watches, she'll laugh. But I put them in the freezer. Thin
Yeah.
Mints are great.
Oh, yeah.
They're better out of the freezer.
Yeah.
So she was getting mad at me because there was empty boxes everywhere. So she would open up the freezer, and I would eat the cookies and leave the fucking empty box in the freezer, so she didn't know that I ate them. But I buy 30 boxes of Thin Mints. They're gone in 2 months, 2.5 months.
Really?
Oh my God.
I don't
They
like
are
it.
good though, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
don't
I
do
do,
the
but I
cookies
give
like
to
that.
those things. But
Yeah.
this is different because it's just me, and it feels good to give. But when you can do it as part of a group,
Yeah.
makes you
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
better.
It's also
does.
it's also hard because we have a lot like every day we have people that come in and
Yeah.
ask for donations, and it's really hard to
I have somebody that
just-
you know that owns a restaurant that owns a restaurant in Syracuse, a longtime restaurant. And years ago, when one of the times I'd first met him, before I consider him a really good friend now, I was in his restaurant, and he's a bit intimidating. And somebody knocked on the door and came in and said, "Hi, I'm here to pick up the donation for whatever thing." And he goes, "For what?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm here they told me to stop and pick up some gift cards." And he's like, "What organization you with?" And she said, and he goes, "Let me ask you a question. When's the last time you were in my fucking restaurant?"
oh my God.
And she's like, have you ever been in have you ever eaten in here? Have you ever come here? She said, "No, we always liked the place." He goes, "Why the hell, if I gave money to everybody that come in here that doesn't come in my restaurant,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any business." No, I'm not giving to you. So he didn't
Yeah.
give them gift cards,
Well,
which is
damn.
great
Yeah.
because, you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's just there's so
You
many.
can't give to everybody.
Yeah, and that's hard. But I think it's nice when we're able to do stuff like this because you actually know like that it's gonna be going somewhere it's impactful.
I mean, I worked way harder than I thought I was gonna have to work today putting those kits together. The last time I
Yeah.
worked that hard was doing pretzels at Heritage Hill at the Chili Fest, which
my
was
God.
hard work. But it was harder work than I thought. But the cool part to me is it's gonna be great taking these things home, and it was great talking to John. But it was just cool to me. I can't go to every restaurant every day of people I consider friends, but I get to see them today.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't at their restaurant eating, I still got to
Yeah.
see them and interact with them. So it was kind of cool. That
And
was
Yeah.
you know what? Your hope is that, depending on who wants to take them and give them out, but like the hope would be that like if I get 5 of them and I go through my 5 like right away, I'm personally going to go make 20 more.
Yes, exactly.
And so
exactly.
if that happens with all the people that we are entrusting that they go do this, it would be huge.
Yes,
It will
really
be
huge.
huge. There's 300 of them. And if we give them to,
Say 150 people,
Yeah.
100 people, and those 100 people go out and make more kits. And,
it would be
Yeah.
huge. So like that's kind of what you hope for.
and if giving those kits out, like, look, John Tomino knows the guy that sits on the corner every morning at 8 o'clock on the corner over by Horn and Dinosaur. He knows the guy. His name is John, African-American guy with a beard. Maybe me seeing him and dropping this stuff off and having John's card in there, maybe he takes the next step because he's not off the streets yet. But maybe because of this and he sees this and he talks to John and John talks to him and maybe he makes the next step. Maybe we made a difference. with
Yeah, you
somebody.
don't know.
You don't know.
And
mean,
even if
and-
it's one person that
One
makes
person,
the phone
oh
Yeah,
my
call,
God,
one
it's worth
person.
it.
But like even if you develop a relationship with him and you see him every day on your way to work and you're like, okay, maybe you even change up the whatever
Yes,
whatever he
what you
needs.
give.
You start to develop, hey, maybe he does need something else. I
Right.
got enough socks now. Can I get some gloves? Then you change up the pack.
Yeah, it's
you don't
about-
know.
creating those relationships.
So,
Yeah.
we got to
Cool.
come up with some ideas about how to make it work with the next thing we want to do. So,
Well, I think that I would love to do this again. Let's make sure we get the 300 out first.
Yes,
But
yes.
then, seeing what we can
cool.
do next would be great.
Awesome.
I don't know. You got any ideas? You're the idea lady.
What do you
No, but-
want a person to remember about you if they just meeting you for the first time on the podcast? What's something you want them to remember about you or know about you that maybe didn't come through in the podcast or even when they meet you for the first time or?
I hope that, like, I don't know if I want them to know that, but I hope that they just think I'm a nice, kind person.
That's pretty
I
good.
hope.
Yeah,
You know,
pretty good.
I don't really have any deep, dark.
What's your
need
favorite
to
movie?
be- What's my favorite movie is, oh my gosh, it's with Barbara Streisand and A Star Is Born.
The
with them.
original.
Well,
Well,
it's
second
the
one,
second one.
not the James
Barbara-
Mason one.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
favorite movie ever.
How come you let your daughter become 30 years old and she's never seen It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart?
I don't know. I like the
Some
other.
parenting.
We had. Oh, you were going to have a movie night or something, and I'm like, what for?
Oh, we do a girls' night out once a month, but for December we're doing a Grinch's night out and playing The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole
Oh,
Christmas
cool.
on TV.
I
and
thought
it's a
it was
pajama-
because you're Grinch and you were leading the pack. Of
That,
other
well,
Grinches.
that, I
that's
think
where it
that's what it
came
is,
from.
really. But I
Yeah.
was like, why would you not do It's a Wonderful Life? That's,
One of it's top 20 movies of all time, top 10 movies all time.
I think, though, we'd have a bunch of people crying here in their booze.
I just
it's
don't
sad
think
at the
it's
end.
a sad thing. You're gonna make fun of me every time we ask somebody this question.
Yes. And then the next thing is, what's the nickname you had when you were a kid that maybe you didn't like or did like? Did they have a nickname for you? Or?
No, in my teenage years, I was Norma Jean, because I'm Nora. So they called me Norma Jean.
Marilyn Monroe, Norma Jean? Or-
Yeah, I don't want to really brag,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Oh,
sure. But no, you had like nobody gave you like a mean nickname growing up. You
no.
went to Catholic school, right?
Yeah.
Catholic school kids are mean.
No,
No?
we weren't. We were nice.
So
Nice and kind.
okay, yes, okay.
To church every week and the
yes.
whole thing.
Yeah.
just because you go to
Okay.
church doesn't mean you're a good person.
Well, yes, yes. So cool.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Great.
Peace out.